Join me as I take on the challenge of deciding whether to ditch my expensive condo for a more affordable apartment at 72. As I approach retirement, I'm finding myself weighing the pros and cons of making a pretty big change. Hi, my name is Lori, and welcome to my channel where I work with people in their 50s and 60s to help them transition into retirement. My condo has been my home for a while, but it's not getting any cheaper. I'm talking about a significant amount of money going out every month for maintenance, utilities, homeowners insurance, and property taxes. Maintaining a condo can be a real financial challenge. I've really grown attached to it over the years because it's a place where I visit with my family and my grandson. We bake cookies at Christmas, do crafts, and it's just been a lot of fun for me and a really joyful place to be. But heartstrings have really kept me attached to it longer than I think has been good for my finances. If I'm going to quit my full-time job, I have to be realistic about my money and think about what's best for my future. The thought of downsizing to a more affordable apartment is tempting. It could free up money that I could use for travel and hobbies and just allow me to enjoy some things in retirement. That's going to be pretty hard to do if I keep it. So how did I end up owning a condo out of state in the first place? Well, during COVID, I needed a place to stay so I could visit my grandson and quarantine for a couple weeks when I got there, visit him for 2 to 3 weeks. And so I quickly and in a hurry and without running any numbers purchased a condo close to my family. At first, because of telework, I was able to live there for about 5 months. And that was the plan, to telework and live close to family. But then I got called back to California for my job. So I ended up with a studio apartment and paying for the condo and the apartment. And the condo was now sitting empty when I wasn't there. It was doable, but then the expenses started to increase. And it really stretched me over my budget in a big way. It's recommended that you set aside 1 to 4% of your home value annually for repairs and maintenance. But in my experience, it's really more like 5 or 6% that you need to set aside. And that's really hard to do if you're on a tight budget. But if you don't have a bucket of cash just on reserve for home maintenance, then you're going into debt to pay for it. And no one wants that when you're retired and on a fixed income. Apartment living has its perks. If something breaks or it needs to be repaired, I just call maintenance and I don't have to pay for it. But with owning property, any little thing that needs repair or replacement is an out-of-pocket expense for me as the homeowner. And, apartment complexes have some amazing amenities. The place where I'm living now is an elevator, which is fantastic, a pool, a gym, and some places have in-unit laundry and even community gardens. I'm thinking that these types of things are going to be pretty nice when I decide to retire. Maybe just relax a little bit instead of taking care of a big property. With that being said, there's still that question of whether it's worth it to leave my condo. I mean, the financial relief would be huge. The emotional ties to it are what I really got to get past if I'm gonna decide to sell it. I could always visit my family by getting an Airbnb or a short-term rental. If I keep the condo, I know I have enough to cover my expenses. However, I would need to earn extra income to pay for anything like travel or hobbies. So I'll be pretty strapped without an extra income. And if the condo expenses continue to rise like they have been, that could put me in a really difficult financial situation to cover costs, and I might end up going into debt, being forced to sell, and all of this without having my full-time job to fall back on. So renting an apartment or just staying in the apartment that I have in California, the rent is capped because it's in an older building. And I know what to expect on rent increases, at least under the current laws in California. And I have no maintenance expenses. That is huge. By my calculations, I actually could retire today or just keep working and stuff away the cash I've been spending on that out-of-state property. To make a decision, though, I've been doing my own research, meeting with financial professionals, and running my own numbers in Maxify Planning, which is the software that I use for retirement planning. So I'll keep you updated as I go through this yet another critical retirement planning decision. And I know some of you are probably thinking about what you should do with your property when going into retirement. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment about your thoughts and any questions that you might have. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.